The Samsung Galaxy S21 FE was a massive hit for the company. It was the phone to go for if you wanted the best performance to value smartphone. But last year, they decided not to release the Galaxy S22 FE, but now it is back. This is the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE, and let's find out if this is a hit or a miss. Now, unboxing the S23 is a simple affair. Just rip the pull tabs open the eco-friendly box, and there are two parts inside. Over at the top half is a box that houses a USB-C to USB-C cable, warranty and the information booklet, and the SIM ejector tool. Then the bottom half is the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE wrapped in an eco-friendly paper. Now, in case you did not know what FE means, it stands for Fan Edition, which means like this phone is like your favorite band's greatest hits album. And that also means that it's supposed to have the flagship features that the general public loves in the original S23, packaged in a more attractive price point, and it has to look the part as well. Now, speaking of looking the part, here's a quick dad joke. Why don't phones ever go to the gym? Because they hate losing their bars. Now, as you can see, it looks very similar to the S23, except the phone and of course the screen is slightly bigger. Now, this makes the size slot nicely between the S23 and the S23 Plus sizes. So if you think that the S23 is too small but the S23 Plus is too big, well, this right here is the Goldilocks zone for you. But if you look closer, you'll find more differences than the S23. At the back, the camera bumps are more prominent in the FE, which is more visible when you turn the phone to its sides. The Gorilla Glass 5 at the back is glossy, so it is more of a fingerprint magnet compared to the matte Gorilla Glass Victus 2 in the S23. Then the rails are matte instead of aluminium on the S23, which adds quite a number of weight to it as well. Then in front, there is now a silver ring around the selfie camera. Not sure why it's there, probably Samsung just did this to differentiate between the two phones more. And the bezels are also thicker on the FE as well. Now, another difference that you might notice is that if you click the like and the subscribe button, like, okay, really, if you're on the YouTube app, there's a new fancy subscribe animation if you hit the subscribe button. Try it and let me know how it works for you. So the overall build is very Galaxy-like as expected, though it may be leaning towards the previous generation's look and feel. So yeah, there are quite a few differences indeed, so check out our website at www.adamlobo.tv if you want to have a recap of all of the things mentioned. Now, instead of talking and listing out all the specs one by one between these two phones, I will tell you the significant differences between the S23 and the S23 FE, because some are not so good and some are really good. Now, first is the difference in the processor, where you get the Exynos 2200 on the FE instead of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. Second is the fingerprint sensor, which is optical instead of ultrasonic on the S23. Third would be the peak brightness, which is lower at 1450 nits compared to 1750 nits on the S23. Now, speaking of brightness, here's another dad joke for you. Why did the smartphone need glasses? Because it has lost all its contacts.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay, I'll stop. Now, the fourth thing that you should know is the fact that the cameras are similar in both, but you do lose out on the dual pixel autofocus for the ultra-wide and the selfie cameras, and the telephoto and the selfie camera loses out on 2 megapixels each. But based on my several shots taken on the phone, side by side, I would say that they look rather very close when it comes to the image quality, even when you compare every single lens as well. The overall quality, of course, is very close to a flagship level as seen on the S23 FE as well. Now, as for the video quality, it is also very much similar to each other. So all in all, the cameras on both phones did perform very similar. Now, as for the good news is that you still do get the adaptive 120Hz screen, and on the S23 FE, the battery is bigger at 4500 milliamps. So all in all, it seems like this S23 FE is losing out in a lot of areas, doesn't it? Well, not really, because if you really consider the main reason for this phone's launch, which is the phone's price. Now, this Samsung Galaxy S23 FE starts at 2,999 ringgit, which is about 626 USD. But I even saw it online from Samsung's official website, which is going for 2,699 ringgit, which is about 563 USD, with some online rebates. Now, compare that with the normal S23, which comes at a price of 3,899 ringgit or about 814 USD. That is a freaking sizable difference in price, if you ask me, and I'm sure you would agree too. So what's my experience on using this phone? Well, I have been using this phone for several days, almost a week, and I have to say that I really like the phone a lot. I just have to teleport myself out from the tech nerd headspace to a more general consumer headspace, and this is where the phone really makes a lot of sense. Because not everyone wants and will spend on the fanciest advancements in technology because they don't really need it. Because most people need a fast enough phone that is reliable with a good set of cameras, decent battery life, and sometimes that feels good to use in the hands. And most importantly, considering the general economy right now, it doesn't cost a kidney to buy. Now this phone definitely delivers on all of those aspects. Everything is smooth sailing so far, even with this Exynos chip, which has been getting a lot of slack lately. And games have been also performing quite well so far. Cameras are more than decent for everyday man's use, and heat management is also at a very optimum level where it doesn't feel any hotter like any other smartphone. But if I do have to knock off a few points though, would be the thicker than the average bezels, and of course the optical fingerprint sensor is not as speedy as the ultrasonic sensor. Other than that, the phone has been pretty much great, but then again, this is only my first impressions of the phone, and since I bought this phone, I will do my usual in-depth review of the phone in the coming weeks. So let me know what specifically you would like for me to test on the phone in the comment section below. But if you want to have a more unique approach to a phone, check out my in-depth review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5 over here.